Kyle, first career start. How do you grade yourself? How do you look back at that performance?
Yes, sir. It was a good first game. It was good to be out there with the team. I got a few things to work on with technique and looks wise, but we're gonna fix that up, get in the film room, and be better this next week.
When you go into a game like that, and obviously it's a high-profile opener, it's an NFL stadium. Any nerves going into that initially? Does that settle down pretty quickly?
Yeah, sure. Obviously there's a little nerves, but it's good nervousness. I felt well prepared with Coach Moore. We had a week or two preparing. I felt pretty confident going out there, and I was excited to be out there with the team.
When I talked to you at Media Day, you mentioned about the communication and being sort of the quarterback of the offensive line. How do you feel you did in terms of identifying and making sure everyone next to you was on the same page?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I felt like the communication was pretty solid. I felt like the guys were all on the same level throughout the game. There was a couple plays where I could have cleaned it up, but overall I felt like the communication between us five, even the tight ends, was pretty solid.
I guess for you, being your first start, first reps, now you get the experience of a short week with having one less day to prepare for Vanderbilt. What's the mindset for you this week of making sure not only preparing for Vanderbilt but also getting your body to the point where you're fresh and ready to go?
Yeah, we're gonna take it day by day. Obviously it's coming up quick. We're gonna get into treatment, rehab, and all that good stuff, and then obviously the film room. We've already been on that, so. This week, just fixing up all the little details with techniques and the looks we get, and cleaning up all the little things.
What was your, I guess, biggest takeaway coming out from that South Carolina game? Just maybe how you played, or something you maybe realized during the game, and just kind of when you were walking away, what did you kind of think about just the game as a whole?
Yeah, it was my first game, so honestly, overall, it was fun to be out there with the team. For my first game, it was a good experience, good crowd, and then obviously, like I said, just the little things for this next week, fixing them up, cleaning them up, and try and be a better group up five for this next following week.
The defensive line got in the backfield quite a lot against South Carolina. Is that something you've seen throughout fall camp as it's progressed? And were you surprised at all how effective they were?
No, sir. Us five, we're going to put our head down and work every play, and whatever the outcome is, it is. And we're going to just go to the next play. And obviously, we don't want pressure on drones. All those stats or whatever with drones is, mainly because of us. And as a group, we're going to fix that and be better this next week.
Were you surprised how effective your defensive line was against their offensive line? I mean, just you. Sorry, that's you guys have gone up against your defensive line all preseason camp. Were you surprised about how effective they were at getting to Sellers?
No, sir. We got a great defensive front, and we got a lot of depth too, and a lot of guys who have great pass rush, good run stop. Kamari's one of those guys who's just dominant, whether it's in the pass game or the run game. And it's huge for us as an O-line to be able to go against that during camp and even throughout the week, getting good looks from them. And they're great players, and it's awesome to go against them.
You mentioned getting a look at Vandy last night. What do you notice about from their opener about their defensive line and things you guys will need to do?
Yeah, they got some big interior guys, and honestly across the board. So we're gonna use our technique and trust what Coach Moore is teaching us, and try and perfect that and do the best that we can.
For this group, you getting thrown into the fire with back-to-back SEC opponents. Would you have asked for anything better just to really test yourself this early?
No, yeah, I think it's awesome. It's great going against great competition. I think it'll be good for us, confident-wise. Gaining that confidence throughout each and every day, each and every week. So, yes, sir.
Kyle, have you always been a center, or is this something new for you?
So in high school, I was a tackle, so I think that helped me athletically. And then coming into college, I obviously started at West Virginia. I got put right at center and learned kind of how to run the offense as a center, be that key piece in the middle. And Coach Moore's done a great job with teaching me how to lead as a center and play dominantly.
What is the biggest change when you move from the, outside like that to the interior? Is it just responsibilities? What was the biggest thing to overcome initially?
Yeah, just communication. I think understanding defensive fronts, learning kind of the bigger picture, not thinking too much, but just like the little things. And honestly, communication is the main thing. And I feel like I've kind of taken that pretty well.
I know you had the mohawk in August.
Yeah.
Was that a camp thing? Have you just grown that out now? Is that not for the season?
Yeah, nah, that was a camp thing. Just me and my buddies, my roommate Lucas Austin, we both did it just out of fun for camp.
I didn't ask you this media day, but how much did you learn from Brandon Yates playing behind him last year? He was a 6-year guy, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you got to learn a lot from him.
Yeah, for him, he taught me a lot, day by day. I was hurt throughout most of the season, so I was really in the weight room developing. But the second I got out there, whatever I messed up on, he was kind of fixing me up and teaching me like a teacher. And then being in the film room with them, Wyatt, all those guys, trying to learn little things each and every day and not think about too much the big picture, but just little things each day to fix and keep getting better at.
Let's go to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom again, please use the raise hand feature to ask questions for Kyle. We'll open it to questions. Any questions for Kyle? All right, Travis.
Come back on for David.
Coach Pry and Coach Moore have both praised your just kind of playing a little bit as a veteran, even though you're still a very young player. Where does that kind of, I guess, experience, that mentality come from? Have you always kind of tried to play as a leader?
Yeah, I got to give credit to my parents. They raised me well, taught me how to be a man, and then I love the game of football and I take it very seriously. So, yes, sir.
Anything else for Kyle?